Hello everyone and welcome to this Holy Grail Games video. My name is Georgina and today I'm here with Jamie.
Hey guys.
And Olivier. And we are going to be talking about and playing Tiles of the Arabian Nights, which is a game by Olivier Melison and also Matthieu Podevin, who is the author of Titan, and Olivier and Caesar's Empire.
Yes.
And Olivier, you are the author of Museum, co-author of Museum Picture, Dominations, the list goes on.
Not that much further, but still.
Not that much further, but that's
we got most of it there, I think.
So, Tiles of the Arabian Nights is a narrative adventure game. So, what you can see on the table is what we're going to be playing with. So, this is a prototype, but what you can see here is pretty much what the final product will look like.
It's pretty advanced. There might be some minor changes, but nothing massive.
Absolutely. So the idea of the game is, ever since the Tales of the Arabian Nights, so ever since a legendary queen told 1001 tales over as many nights, the Sultan now holds a storytelling contest every year in her honour. And this year, as citizens of Baghdad, we're going to be taking part in the hopes of winning the title of Master Storyteller.
And lots of gold.
And lots of gold. So, the idea of the game...
Jewels! And camels! Wait, what? Camels! And donkeys!
So, the idea of the game is that we are going to be heading out into the desert around Baghdad in search of adventure. Because after all, to tell a good story, you need a bit of inspiration.
It needs a little bit of truth, a little bit of fake.
Yes. So what we're going to do is we're going to be exploring this area around Baghdad, collecting tiles and then using them for different things. You can either collect them to score points at the end of the game, you can sell them at markets, or, and this is the fun part, you can use them as inspiration to tell a story to the Sultan upon your return to Baghdad. I think the best way to learn a game is just by playing it.
It is, and it's not a massively complicated game, so we can easily explain it as we go through the different turns.
What we are going to do is explain as we go along. So this is the basic setup of the game. Every player has their caravan board, which is this small caravan board in front of them. We have some vote tokens, which I will be explaining as we go along. And we also have story tiles, which basically show the types of adventure tiles that you're going to need to be able to tell a super cool story to the Sultan when you get back. We have the market board, which is just a reference to show you how much different things are worth when you sell them. And we have the storyteller board, which is to keep track of your storytelling points each time you tell a story to the Sultan.
We have the magical sand timer.
The magical sand timer, which is essentially the tile holder, and will also keep track of which tiles have already been played during the game and the new ones which are going to come out.
And the magic lamp.
The magic lamp, which is the first player, and that is me. We have our character standees, which are in the centre of the board on the city of Baghdad. And on the city of Baghdad, we also have the Sultan tokens, which are going to be what the Sultan thinks of our stories. Our little score tokens are here. So this is going to be the victory score tracker as we go around the map. And then we have the compass rose token, which is to do with which should be on a mountain. It always starts in the mountains. And that is going to help us keep track of which way the winds are turning each time we refill the board. So as you can see, the board is covered in these small square tiles, which are our adventure tiles. And as the game progresses, we are going to be collecting them and the board will be emptying them out. But of course, the desert is ever changing, and so more tiles will be added as we remove others. That's the basic premise of the game. We are all going to start with our caravan boards. The caravan is all about the things you've managed to collect during your adventures. And it also shows how far you can move and how powerful an enemy you can fight at the beginning of the game. So we all start off with two little camel symbols here on our caravan, which means that we can move 2 squares. And we all start with one small scimitar token, which is the weapon symbol, and that means we can fight an enemy of a strength of 1. As the game progresses, we'll be able to pick up more of these particular tiles to improve how far we can move and how ferociously we can fight.
Oh, and kill so many monsters.
Yes.
So many monsters.
All of the other spaces are to do with the types of adventure tile that are on the board. So there are 12 different types of adventure tile. They all have identical backs, so basically just to allow you to identify what it is you're going to get when you land on a certain area of the board. However, when flipped over, all adventure tiles have a different illustration on the back. They've almost all been individually illustrated. Yeah. Some of them have repeats, but that is for a mechanical reason. We'll get to that later in the game. But all of the others have individual illustrations, and these illustrations are going to serve as inspiration for you, the player, when you get to the storytelling parts.
Which is roughly 140, nearly 150 unique illustrations between these and those.
Yeah, there's a lot of illustrations in this game, and they are super fun to discover. We are going to start playing and explain as we go along. We will not be playing the full game because we don't want to show you all the tiles.
And all the stories.
And all the stories. So we're going to play through a few rounds to show you how the game works, and then we will move on to final scoring to show you how final scoring works. So let's get stuck in.
Yeah. And you start. You are the first player.
So I have the magic lamp, I am first player, and I am player yellow. So I'm going to start with... So the tile that I land on is the tile I get to take. So I'm going to start with something easy. My first story tile is the easiest one. All it requires is one location and a recipient. So I'm going to go ahead and get a file straight away. So I landed on this tile, so I get to flip it over and find out what it is. And in my case, it is simple jars of water.
Or is it water?
Or is it water?
Or ice.
Shampoo.
Deadly acid. Magic potion.
Magic potion.
Clearly mana potion.
But not champagne. At the end, it's not champagne.
No, it's not champagne.
But we don't know what's in the pots.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, maybe.
Yeah,
Could be champagnes in
the chopping pots.
Champagne pots.
And that is it. That is the end of my turn. It's as easy as that. You move and then you do the action of the space you land on. In my case, there was an adventure tile there, so I get to take it.
Exactly.
Jamie, it's your turn.
So I'm going to do the same thing. Besides, you always do the same thing because the turns are pretty fluid and pretty simple. I want a bit of extra speed for the start of my adventure, so I'm going to take this tile here, and I'm going to move 1 and 2.
So you can only move orthogonally, so no diagonal movements.
So I get a donkey.
Oh.
Don't even get a camel. Get a bargain basement.
A donkey.
Not insulting donkeys there. Sorry if there are any donkeys out there that were insulted by that.
I may be lucky. I need to move, to move more. So I'm also going to there. But what I get is, it's a camel.
Ooh. You get a camel. I see how it is.
Rico,
you get a camel.
I get a donkey. You get a donkey. But it's Rico the camel.
It is a pretty donkey, that being said.
But it's really clever. It's a really clever camel.
Okay, clever camel.
He doesn't look that clever to me, but...
we shall see.
He always eat,
which is smart in itself. So I'm going to move another 2 spaces.
Nutrition is important.
2.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to move to this adventure tile that has the palm tree symbol on it, which is a location.
What it is?
I'm going to pick it up and turn it over as I destroy the rest of the desert, and it is some very desolate looking mountains.
Okay.
So each type of tile... well, what am I doing there? You'll find out when I tell you. So each type of tile has its space on the caravan board. Merchandise are the green tiles, and they all go in the same slot, but there are 4 different types.
I am going to... Well, I didn't bring my lunch with me today, so I'm going to get some food instead. It's some bread. Perfect. Make some sandwiches.
So maybe I should start going to a building as I can move 3 spaces. I say 1, 2, 3, and let's have a look. What do we have there? Oh, it's a house, a palace, some trees. With some water, a swimming pool for my Rico camels. I don't know. Let's see.
Honey, the camels are in the pool again.
So currently I actually have what I need already to tell my first story, but I could scoop up a bit of gold before I go back.
To embellish all of that.
Absolutely.
Put a bit of shine.
People like gold.
People do like gold.
And Baghdadi, we love gold.
That has been scientifically proven over the years, for sure.
So I have stopped on this tile. I get to pick up the gold. It goes in the gold section of my caravan, and it's your turn, baby.
Okay. I'm looking at my story tiles. If you're ever in doubt of what to do, checking out your story tiles and seeing what symbols are around you is generally a good way to do it. However, I do kind of want to come this way, but before I do that, I'm going to take 1 step backwards and pick up this scimitar, which is a bow. Very cool looking bow.
A bow. It's always useful.
An ice bow, maybe? Something like that?
I I am a merchant in the desert, so I may start with diamonds, or at least some jewels. And let's see, what can I bring? Oh, it's a jar of emerald.
A jar filled with diamonds.
Of diamonds. Diamonds
forever.
lives forever. Diamonds lives forever.
Put them in your gold section,
of course, you know.
Wrong section of the board, Olivier. This is your game.
Yeah, absolutely. But I put the best everywhere, you know.
Experience tells us.
No, because this is the camel, you know. He's so clever that he put the diamonds with the gold, you know.
He's trying to dupe you, clearly.
Money!
So, I'm going to prove myself to be the fastest in the Far East. 1, 2. And I'm going to come back to Baghdad to tell a story. So, when you end your turn in Baghdad, it means that you must tell a story. So, you have to have the requisite tiles to fulfill one of your story tiles. And I do. I have this one. So, there is two tiles, 1 location, and 1 file, which I have. So, now I have to tell you guys a story, and of course to the Exalted Sultan himself, in an attempt to impress him and improve my storytelling score. So let's do it. Now I only have 2 tiles to go with, but based on the illustrations on each tile, I'm going to do my best to come up with at least the start of a really good story. So here we go. My dear fellow citizens, Exalted Sultan, I return from my latest adventure by the skin of my teeth. I almost died.
Almost.
Almost.
I was wandering lost in some desolate mountains. I took a wrong turn. I couldn't find my way out. My supplies were running low. I almost had no more water. My food had long since disappeared. I collapsed to the ground. I had all but given up hope when I heard the sound of running water. Thank you for sound effects. You are allowed to do sound effects, by the way. If
Other players, you can subsidise sound effects to other players.
Yeah. Please do that. It makes it more fun. So I followed the sound of the water and I came across a mysterious spring, just bubbling up out of the rocks. So quickly, I grabbed all of my containers and flasks and filled them up with as much water as I possibly could. I had run out of supplies, but I could tell that this water was coming from somewhere. I could see it snaking in and out of the rocks, bubbling its way down from higher up in the mountains, and I vowed that I would return to find the source of that mysterious spring later in my adventures.
Okay. So we're getting the prequel here.
That's a good beginning.
That's a good beginning. It's a good beginning. I like it. I want to see where it goes.
So when you finish your story, when the speaker finishes his story, the other players need to vote.
Yes.
So we have 5 tokens for the voting, coming from 1 to 5 value, and we judge the value of the story.
Yeah.
Depending on.
So you get to judge how obviously it's entirely subjective. You guys get to judge what you thought of my story, and I will also get a token from the Sultan. So we will reveal these tokens at the same time. So they're all going to be put down here. I get to see what you guys thought and what the Sultan thought. So the Sultan didn't think much of my story.
But it's got a short story. You're almost dead. You're back.
Yeah.
And.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good start.
This is the prequel. It's the beginning. I'm still here. I'm still alive.
No, even Disney and Marvel had to start somewhere. Before they got to Endgame.
So you have 6 total amounts of value.
Yep.
And you on the score on the storyteller board.
I have a story score of 6. I then get to flip my story tile over, so that has a value of 5. So I score 5 victory points. And I can see that the Sultan, obviously not massively impressed with my story. He's given me a score of 1, but he has decided that I show promise. He's going to give me a bit of help. So I get to take 1 North Star story tile, which are adventure tiles, which are the tiles here in the Sunshine, which have a little star in the corner. I get to take 1 for free and just add it to my caravan.
Ooh.
So he's given me a bit of inspiration. He's given me an idea of where I could go with the next story.
So you get back your
city with a sort of water-filled city.
Yes.
Maybe he was like, I think I know where that might be.
So if you would have camel styles and scimitar, you would have to discount them.
Yes.
Then you give me the 2 tiles you have used for your story.
Do you want to give arms?
Oh, I forgot about that. I
And
have
the goal!
So if you are returning to Baghdad and you have a story to tell, maybe you're not 100% confident in how much people are going to think of it.
Or maybe just very generous.
You can just toss a bit
With
of
the
gold.
people of the city, we need gold.
Yes,
You know,
that's
exactly.
I'm a poor merchant.
So be a bit generous. You can do an action which is called giving alms. So you give the gold that you found during your journeys to the crowd, which of course vastly improves their opinion of you.
Yes, of course.
And you get to add 2 victory points per gold symbol on the tile, because some of them have more than one, to your victory point score. Not your storytelling score, your victory points. So that brings me up to 7. That's really cool. So I get rid of that tile as well.
They go to the sun timer, the
Yeah.
magical sun timer, and we replace them with new ties.
That's it.
1, 2. So the first one is good.
3 for the gold.
And the first one is going to
Exactly.
exactly
Where the
on
compass
So
road is.
the compass rose is this tile, and the tiles that you take from the sun timer to replace the ones that you've just discarded go in the corner where the sand, where the rose is.
They need to go as close to it as possible.
Yeah.
If all of those spaces are filled up,
Let's
then we
start
move
it.
away.
A double camel.
Okay, so
Okay.
we then move to this corner for the second tile.
That's it.
And the third one goes there.
Third,
Yep.
if you
So
can do
you
it,
go this
Jamie, as you
one.
have long arms.
There we are.
And we put the compass rose in the
Just
next
over there.
corner to
Yeah.
show where. So basically, it's just to show that the desert is ever changing. You've come back to the city. The winds have changed,
Something
and
else has
now
happened.
something is glinting off of a dune in a different corner of the desert, and you can go and see what it is. Obviously, as the game deconstructs itself, we'll have to go further and further into the desert to be able to find new things. So that's how refilling the board works.
And done. So
yep.
you put your stories there.
So
It's the one done for the moment.
Yep.
And next time, you will increase the value of your story
Yeah.
by 1 because you have already done
Yes.
one story. So
That's
the
it.
more stories you tell, the more the more people are listening to you.
yeah, absolutely.
They're waiting for the sequel.
That's it. Yeah, you want the next bit.
Yeah, they're listening to the
Episode
rest
2.
of the story, What's going on? We were thirsty, you went to a tavern, drink some water, and back. Okay. And then.
So, as Olivier was saying, normally also when you tell a story to the Sultan, you have to discard all movement tiles and scimitar tiles that you, weapon tiles, that you have in your caravan, because animals need to rest and nobody goes into the presence of the Sultan armed. So, you get rid of them. And then after that, you head back out.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And
Jamie, it's your turn.
So there are some tiles which have small blue symbols at the bottom.
Yep.
These are called prerequisites. The symbols at the bottom are the same as symbols on the other tiles. It basically means that to go onto this tile, to land on this tile, you must have those icons in your caravan. You do not need to spend them, you just need to have them. The most common place you'll find this is on enemy tiles which require 1 or more scimitars, weapon tiles. So, for example, this snake here, I can say it's a snake because it's got a little icon in the corner, needs 2 scimitars. Everybody starts with 1 in their caravan because nobody goes out into the desert unarmed, obviously. But as I picked up my bow, that gives me a second one, so I can go here and kill this snake. So I will move here, and hup, I take this tile as a trophy.
And the giant cobra is dead.
The giant cobra is dead, and I put the trophy at the top of my caravan in one of the available slots. These will be scored at the end of the game. They can still be used for stories and other such things.
If you have some requisite for some stories,
Exactly.
sometimes you need.
But unlike the other tiles, they are scored at the end of the game based on collections. So collections of different monsters and same monsters. You'll see when we do final scoring, but that's my turn.
Okay, so as I am in diamond, I carry on diamonds.
Why not?
And
Piece of candy. Piece of candy.
Yeah, of course. Jewels. Crowns.
Yeah.
And the queen of the desert.
Can you really have too many gems? No.
No, because I
don't.
could go sometimes into the market.
Yes.
And sell my things.
It's true.
But I don't know if I'm going to sell my jewels.
Maybe not.
I'm Ali Babouche, the queen of the desert.
More like Oli Babouche.
Oli Babouche. Absolutely, Oli Babouche.
So I am going to take this food here because it's close, and why not? And it's some very delicious looking fruit.
I am going to move on. I'm going to go visit this location right here. I'm going to take that tile. It is a marketplace of some description. So I place this here.
I think it's time to go for the stories because it's good, things.
Okay.
But, back to a place. Where should I? That's
Doesn't sound good.
That's there's
Curious.
dead cities into the mountains
Yeah.
with birds or giants. Or I don't know. Let's see.
It's up to you. You
is up to
decide.
Yeah, but it's not quite nice. I'd rather yours. It's much,
Yeah,
it's much more pleasant than mine.
I get that
Okay.
for sure. So I'm going to come here, and it's some kind of mysterious gate.
Okay. What else do I need? I need some more. Oh, let's get another movement tile, shall we? Haha! Oh, it's a prettier horse. I still prefer my donkey, but that is a nice looking horse.
It
if I do
is.
say so myself.
Noble.
A noble.
A noble,
steed.
a noble one.
Far too noble for the likes of me.
Yes. Definitely.
So I think
Thank you.
this
it
is my
story
problem
time?
there because
Is it story
there's
time?
so many fuel there. I maybe take this one.
It is story time, but shiny.
Okay,
Tell
poison.
us a
There's
story,
poison
Okay.
or oil.
Well,
Maybe poison.
maybe poison. Don't want to confuse the two. That will be a
No.
very
Very
bad
bad.
night
Yeah,
out.
that's a
Absolutely.
bad day. That's a bad day.
If someone is approaching from my crones,
I'm going to come here and vanquish a harpy.
a harpy.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm not the only one getting in on the monster slaying gig.
Well, I need one for a story.
Fair enough. Let me
You are brutal.
see now.
Yes.
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 You are brutal
I'm
people.
also going. There's a couple of monsters around here, so I'm going to keep going with my old monster slaying. So that was another monster with 2 scimitars. At the moment, I'm the only person that can do them because I'm the only one with 2 scimitars on his board.
So
And it is also a harpy. So
as I have some diamonds, I'm able to make some encounters. So 1, 2, 3.
yes.
This is an encounter which we have the prerequisite, which is
Yep.
diamonds or jewels. So as I have already one, I can make it. And
a
that's
gin.
a gin, the blue one.
Intriguing.
Yeah, I don't know
How
where
do you
I'm
string
going.
all this together? Yeah.
You
You'll know when you get there. You'll know when you get there.
Absolutely. No idea. Okay, no.
Sometimes the tiles you get are not as easy as you might hope for coming up with a story, and that's when the game gets really funny.
Improvisation.
So I'm trying to head back towards Baghdad. However, I have landed on a empty space because there are no tiles in the direction that I'm going. When you land on an empty space, you get to take a temporary bonus tile. The temporary bonus tiles are here. They are double-sided, so you can either have movement or weapon. And basically you choose which side you would like when you pick it up. I'm going to choose movement.
And you have the single use symbol,
Yes.
as you have also on the market.
Yeah, so
which
what that means is, for example, if I decide to use this tile to move 3 spaces instead of 2, I have to discard it afterwards. That horse isn't doing a full day's work.
No.
One move and then that's it. He's off. There's greener grass elsewhere.
It's an older one,
Yeah. He's not having that.
Uber rides. Horseback rides.
Yeah,
Uber horseback rides.
absolutely. So that's the end of my turn. Jamie?
Okay. Where am I going next? I think I'm going to go just next door because I do need that location and it is rather conveniently placed. It is a farm. There's sheep. Yeah, I call that a farm.
It could indeed be a farm.
All right.
Maybe it's time to get some gold.
Oh,
Because
gold.
you are it's small purse of gold, small one, some small coins, but it's the beginning of the fortune.
okay.
Oli Babouche would be the wealthiest of the Baghdad.
There's a story beginning to form here. There's a story beginning to form. A legend even.
There's fortune and glory, and sometimes there's just fortune.
Yeah.
And that's
And even
okay.
that's a bit of a hard.
All choices are valid. Okay. Home to Baghdad.
Again!
Going back
Again.
Oh,
again. All right.
No, you can't wait to hear the next episode.
The next episode of your story.
Okay, so this time I'm going for a slightly bigger one. This has got 4 elements to it. I needed a location, a building, some food, and an enemy, and I have all of those things. So,
Let's start.
my fellow citizens, exalted Sultan, I returned to the desolate mountains where I almost died to follow that mysterious water source to its spring. And as I wandered through the mountains and was just starting to lose hope, it had been a long trek, I came across a mysterious gate hidden between two peaks. And as I walked through, there was nobody guarding it. I came across a beautiful, lush city running with water just hidden in the valley between. Clearly nobody had been here for a long time. I couldn't find anyone to speak to. After my long journey, I was tired, so I sat down and started to eat some fruit from a nearby tree while just gazing around in wonder and wondering what I was going to do next.
Wondering.
All of a sudden, I heard an ear-splitting scream and a voice that said, "My fruit!" And I look up, and there she was, a bloodthirsty harpy.
Now, maybe it would be, my fruit! It's
Thank you.
It's a harpy, my fruit!
And
That is mildly terrifying, I'm just saying.
Because, my fruit! The gardener,
I'm eating here. Come back in 15 minutes, I'm not done. I'm having dessert. Right?
Exactly.
And maybe a coffee, come back later.
I finish the pineapple and then we can talk.
may I continue?
Yeah, of course.
Is that okay? As I was fighting the harpy, more and more of them started to fly out of all the buildings around, and I realised that this lost city was in fact inhabited by hundreds of harpies. I managed to defeat one of them, but I was quickly outnumbered, so I fled for my life. And here I am, back in Baghdad. And I can say that in that city, there are likely to be untold riches to be discovered if anybody would dare to go back. I'm not sure if I would.
So you are the quad hero.
It's not cowardly. It's just
Tactical retreat.
Tactical retreat.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Best part about it.
And no gold. I don't have any gold this time. You fled without anything. No fruit. Nothing.
I had no weapons. I was tired.
Okay. Let's vote. No. Let's vote for the rest of the story. But you need to go back, I think.
It's better. It's better. I want to see where it goes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm hanging around for
the Sultan. What does say the Sultan?
What doth say the Sultan? Okay, he's more impressed.
Okay.
It's more impressed. Okay. So you have 7.
Everybody's more impressed.
9.
Okay.
Plus 1, it's 10.
Ooh, 10.
Which means that if your score is less than the one you have already on the storytelling board, you stay there.
Yeah.
But if better, you just move to the new score.
So
on the
exactly, storytelling points aren't cumulative. You don't you don't add them. Basically, you only get to advance along the score track if this score was better than your previous one. Mine was. I went from 6 to 10. Awesome sauce.
Which means that the more stories you tell, the most chance you have to have a better version, a good one. Mm-hmm. So even with the small stories, because you have a big stories to tell, but the more you have, the better it is at the end.
So the Sultan is continuing to encourage me. He's giving me a slightly better thing. I get 2 bonus tiles.
Absolutely. So you get rid of this one because you have to get rid of the tired animals.
That's true. So
and get 2 new.
So I'm gonna switch houses. I have a feeling that being able to move further is going to be more useful to me this time around because I have to keep getting those stories in. So I'm gonna take two movement tiles, which I'll only be able to use once, but it can make all the difference. So, and I have a storytelling score. A storytelling score of 10. 10 points, and I also gain 10 more victory points for my second story, which gives me a score of 15 plus 2 because I had gold. This time around, I didn't have any gold, and that's
pretty good. So we get back our tokens, get rid of this one, and you give me 4 tiles into the magical Santana. And we have to replace them by 4 new. So this one goes there. It's a big monster. Ooh. It's a big cobra.
Big cobra.
Snake. It's a double fuel.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh, groovy. And you have now one over there.
Double gold.
And the 4th one will be in the last corner.
Be over here.
Which means that we leave
the compass rose stays exactly where it is.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
That was like slightly suggestive. Okay. I'm going to travel far for this. Far away in search of spices.
Spices. Yep. It's far away, at least. Depending on the spices.
Exactly. Okay, next.
You know, I'm tempted because I'm a merchant.
You can't just hide behind the fact that you're a merchant every time you do something.
It's fruit, something, you know, really refreshing for my dear sultan and dear princess. In case.
More. Okay, I see how this is. All right. I see how it is. I see how it is.
Okay. I may set out in a different direction.
Yeah, depending on your prerequisite on your stories.
I'm gonna pop over here.
Oh, bread.
Get,
I mean, at least food.
Meat.
It's not bread. Or
No.
it has changed a lot.
That bread has gone off.
It's maybe some harpies.
Yeah.
You know, the rest of the harpies.
What was left once you're done with it?
It's medium rare bread. Okay, so that's me.
Okay, I'm going to go full move again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and go for this gold. Yeah, because I need what's next to it, and I will need gold for that.
Agree. Never
leave house.
Never leave without gold. You know, that's again a lot of gold.
Okay. So I'm going to take a shortcut through Baghdad. So what you can do is the very large space that is Baghdad in the centre of the board only counts as one space. So you can move through it to get to a different area of the desert a bit more quickly. And I'm going to do exactly that.
Knowing that you can move to 4 square because you are temporary 4 squares.
So I'm going to move 1 into Baghdad, and then I'm going to do 2, 3, 4 to end up here.
Okay.
Which means I get to take this, which, some very beautiful looking
silks.
Or fabrics.
Or carpet.
Yes. However, I move 4 spaces, which means
you have to
my
get rid
2
of
temporary movement tiles are expended.
Okay.
My horses doth abandon me.
I am going to, before I go back, I kind of want to make the most of my weapons. So I'm going to go here. Oh, actually, hold on.
Because as you are going to get rid of, when you are back to Baghdad, you will get rid of your weapons. You will need to get some more to kill some of the monsters. So maybe you spend time there for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
It's ending scoring games.
So I will kill that Jinn, and it is on to you.
Yeah, so I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, because there is a few. You know, I'm a merchant. Ali Babouche. Ali Babouche. Oh! It's a golden pot.
We can hear you coming from a mile away. You just cling, 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 cling. All the jewels and the
queen
glass.
of the desert.
Yeah. The noisy queen of the desert.
The noisy queen of the desert. On his Rico camel.
My faithful steeds have abandoned me, so I will move 1, 2, and I will take a new temporary tile.
Okay. I'm going to prepare for. Oh, do I want to? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I can't resist the temptation. Gonna take those 40 thieves and cut them down to around 32.
No, agree. It's time to,
32 and a half, maybe, if I'm feeling generous.
Yeah, maybe we can find more, because Ali Babouche is afraid.
Yeah. I'll get through all 40 of them by the end of the game.
I can learn this with the 15 thieves.
Ali Baba and the 38 thieves just doesn't have the same ring to it.
Well,
at least the 15, but
it's slightly less worrying than Alibaba and the 37.2 thieves. Because there's some problems there. Anyway.
So maybe it's time to go to the market, before going back to Baghdad. I have many things. I could, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to sell as many things. So it's a one-shot, it's a single-use market. Maybe I'm going to keep 1 fuel because I need.
You need it.
I need it. But I have 3 symbols, which means that I will score 12 points.
Ooh, very nice. So Olivier scores 12.
And I'm going to get the ties into the sun timer. and replace them.
So yeah, a market can only be used once. Once you have sold your wares, then it disappears.
So I put this diamond. Ooh,
Don't do it, Olivier.
my diamond. Jewels. It's fun.
Another market.
Another market.
And an oasis.
Absolutely.
Okay, so the compass rose will have moved all the way around to
There.
here.
To the river.
And there we are. I am going to do this encounter. So this has a prerequisite of a food tile and a merchandise tile. So when I flip it over, ooh, there is a very friendly looking gentleman.
Oh,
With pearls. With pearls and a pipe and a walking stick. He has lots of stuff.
it's a philosopher.
He could be anyone.
Or
Maybe.
a merchant.
Yeah. Another one.
Another one.
Or
A rival.
Competition.
A rival, yeah.
Quick, get him.
Marouf, the rival.
Okay.
Get back. Go away,
Well,
Marouf.
listen, I'm gonna take Alibaba down a size again. So now it's Alibaba in the 40 minus the 7. To carry the thread.
The 20.
26.
Yeah.
0.333
About
repeating.
20.
So as this is a monster of a type that I already have, I don't put it next to it. I put it above it.
Yeah, and you will score also victory point differently from the others.
Yep.
You've got a lot of tiles there.
I do. I just want to make the most of my weapons whilst I have them.
Okay.
I think
Sure, makes sense.
it's time
Oh.
to get back to back.
Oh, sorry.
1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Dear Baghdadi, and dear Sultan, you are beautiful, you are so clever, and you are the keeper of the city. And don't forget the princess. Oh,
Yes.
you are
so
nice.
handsome and
Oh,
rugged
so
and-
and you are the keeper of the city. I am Ali Babouche, the queen of the desert and merchant, and I'm going to tell you a terrible story.
Oh, terrible.
I nearly lose my life with this.
Oh.
And I started at the beginning with Rico, my camel.
Faithful camel.
Yeah, absolutely. Brings so many things with him. And I get lost into the desert with a tempest, it was sun tempest. I was alone and thirsty. I didn't find some water, like the others.
Cannot be lucky like you.
I went into a dead city. And it was frightening. Nothing, no food, no jewels, nothing.
Especially the no jewels. There were no
jewels, and no gold, nothing. But I found into a house a kind of couscous pot, with bells.
That's very fancy.
With bells on, it was fancy,
Very fancy
a
pot.
golden couscous pot with bells.
Okay.
Fancy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a fancy one. So I
fancy
said,
couscous.
what's going on? What that things does here, And I just rang the bells and fucha from the couscous pot. Right away.
Sorry, can we just take a moment to appreciate that sound effect, please?
The gene, Boubacar the gene. He was a prisoner in the couscous pot for a long time. I was quite afraid. I said, "Oh, dear Jane, I am so little for you. Just don't kill me, don't eat me, and I will keep my jewels. And he said, "As you free me,
Okay.
I will give you something really nice."
Okay.
And he just sent me into Baghdad, into a nice palace.
Ooh.
With swimming pool for my camels, which now is retiring into the swimming pool.
Honey, the camels are still in the swimming pool.
Absolutely.
Get the net.
And I found into my bedroom a lot of gold. And as I come back
useful.
to Baghdad, I give you all that gold, people of Baghdad, and dear Sultan, and dear Princess. And this is my story.
Well,
Okay.
That was,
that was
that was interesting.
Only in the magic couscous pot is it's a title. It's a title.
Absolutely.
Really?
Ali Babouche and the magical couscous pot. So the Sultan has been a bit generous with me. A
Okay.
bit.
Ooh.
Okay.
As have we.
So it's 7, it's 10. So
Ooh.
I just
You join me.
join you onto the storytelling track. And he gave me one temporary tile, and I'm going to say, in case.
Movement. That's always useful.
So I keep the rest because I don't have any scimitar, I don't
Yeah.
have any things, and I'm going to replace all these tiles. So we have 7 tiles. And score 15 plus 2 gold, which is 4. It's 19 more. Sorry,
yes, of course, you already used your thing.
31.
31. Boom!
Zoom.
3-7.
It's amazing what a little bit of gold will get you.
Yeah, but that's,
And of course, sucking up to the Sultan.
the queen of the desert.
Cheap
The
tactics.
Sultan appreciates.
tactics.
No, he really appreciates the nice stories. So let's start it over there.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, so, small thing. The 3 spots which are normally reserved at the start of the game for the new tiles, they are completely full. So now we go to the closest available space. So no tile, no other players. That, in this case, would be here.
6.
Same dilemma. Up.
And the same,
And
thing,
the same thing there, which
but
would
it's
be
the farthest
there. Yeah, I think so.
7, so it's done.
There you go.
We get
The
back.
rope comes throws back on the mountain.
Absolutely.
Okay. Georgina, after that magical tale.
Oh, yes.
I still haven't recovered.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Okay, I'm okay. I'm going to nip back through Baghdad because I can, and I still need a location and a building to be able to tell my next story. So 1, 2, and I have found a spooky ruined city.
Okay, well, you guys, I'm a bit behind on stories here because maybe we'll be fine. We'll be fine. We'll take this, and obviously, this was another prerequisite tile. So 2 scimitars, which I have, and some gold, which I picked up previously. So we're all good to go. And it is a warrioress, mercenary, maybe a priestess. Let's see. This is going to be an interesting story. I'm warning you guys in advance.
It's time to start some of the story because I'm naked now into the desert and my.
I mean,
that is not a nice image.
You are on a horse
with my crowns and my jewels, on a horse. What a portrait!
I hope you don't meet any bandits.
So I say 1, 2.
Yeah.
Because I'm back, I need building. This is the next door of my palace.
Yes.
I see how it
A
is.
friendly neighbour.
Yes.
Okay.
And because I'm approaching the next diamond.
Oh yeah, of course. There's more diamonds.
Okay. And I'm going to go 1, 2 to here.
All right then.
I have found a boat in the desert, which may seem improbable.
Sure, it has
but
a point. Sure, there's a point.
That's going to be an interesting story.
Speaking of which, here we go.
I don't see the next chapter of your story. Where does it? Where does it goes from the
RP?
That's because she's really good at what she does.
Absolutely.
Eventually.
I'm really looking forward to this.
It'll be fine.
It will, yes.
Oh, you are back to Baghdad!
I am back to Baghdad. So
yes.
I am going to tell my big
Your big one.
Oh.
The big one with all the tiles that I needed.
So that's 7 tiles in total.
7 tiles in total.
Maybe with gold.
Well, there will be some gold. There will be some gold involved. Don't worry. Everybody will get paid. Okay. So, Sultan, my queen, let me present myself. You may have heard of Sinbad. I am his sister, Singood.
Oh, God.
Singood. No, but Singood is one,
And you may have...
Singood. Yeah.
I was also deciding trying to maybe Sinbad is no good, which is a reference some people in the audience may get. Anyway, you may have already heard of me. I have a slight reputation as a monster slayer.
Yes.
And the person who divided the 40 thieves by 2. Carry the 9.
Absolutely.
Divide by 7.
Sure.
Whatever. So monster hunting is my passion. But not only. I get up to lots of different things on my adventures. But I'm always accompanied by my trusty donkey. Oh. And what a lot of people don't know is that I'm not that good at combat. I'm kind of the supporting character here. I just stand back and fire arrows. The donkey's the one that gets the job done. He has a vicious streak a mile wide.
A vicious donkey.
Yeah. Oh. Very vicious. So, after my freshest kill, after another run-in with the 40 very quickly diminishing thieves, I met a fellow adventurer who was also quite the accomplished monster slayer. We compared tallies, we compared kills. And we're like, okay, we're very similar here, except that she had a magnificent steed. Tall, broad, armoured, beautiful. And she thought it would be clever to take a quip at my poor donkey. which is not a great idea because he gets angry very quickly.
Oh, no.
Indeed. So, obviously, in order to, you know, kind of diffuse the situation before any more bloodshed, or before the bloodshed started, rather, I was like, okay, well, listen, I'm sure my donkey can beat your horse. And she's like, okay, then, we'll have a race. And I went, no. Because donkey's good, but he's not quick. Even when he's killing, it takes a lot of time. It's actually a bit of a disturbing sight, but that's a tale for another time. Anyway, I just committed myself to this horse and donkey race, which, in retrospect, was maybe not the best idea. Anyway, the die was cast, we had to get on with it. She said, I will meet you at that farm over there at daybreak, and we shall race to the other side of Baghdad. So I was like, okay, well, not really sure how this is going to go down. So the evening I was wandering around Baghdad trying to find a solution to what I've got myself into. I tried painting horses like donkeys. That didn't work. I tried putting two guys into a donkey costume. That didn't work. And whilst I was, you know, on my last ideas, I was miserable, just skulking around the marketplace. And this merchant took pity on me. And he's like, why the long face? It's longer than your donkey's face. And so I explained the situation to him, and he was like, I've got just the thing. Some of this powder, 1 teaspoon, and that donkey will beat that horse. And you know what? I was so desperate, I said, I'll take it. So I put the mysterious powder onto some bread, fed it to donkey, and turned up the morning after at the farm. We line up, 3, 2, 1, go. Halfway around Baghdad before I realised what's happening.
The lonesome strong
Yeah,
donkey.
I got to the fern, jumped off, and the donkey just kept going, and I don't know if he ever stopped. He's still out there somewhere. And that's why I'm late to tell my stories after these illustrious individuals, because I had to walk back. Anyway, I won the race, got some gold for my trouble, and of course, it's all yours.
Oh, yeah. So if sometimes, you know, you hear, he's still
out there, he's still running.
That's a good story, you know.
Wow. And sometimes he just hits a monster and...
That's a good story. Flash the donkey.
Man, I had to... flash the donkey. Okay, so that was my 20.
Oh, so you scored 20 plus the 2 from the goal.
I did,
That's
so that
22.
would be 22 points. It's not a bad start.
You take the
I do.
Oh, and we reveal another good story. So you have also 10.
Okay.
The Sultan has not been generous as well. So
Not
you will,
great,
you will start with 2 temporary toys of your choice.
Of course.
And you just, you know, are just above us.
So I will go up. So we're all at 10. Okay, that's worked out rather well. So I have to discard the 7 plus the gold tiles that I use, so 8. However, my bow, as I can never go and see the Sultan armed, have to discard that as well. So that's 9 tiles that we need to replace.
9 tiles we need to replace.
However, the monsters, as I did not use any in my tail, do not need to be, or rather, they were not required for the tail. They do not need to be replaced, and thankfully
so. We start from there. We can't so just fill in here.
Okay.
Then
over here, once again, that will be here probably.
The other one.
I'll point out that should there ever be 2 spaces which are the same distance from the corner, you choose which one the tile goes into.
This one, the second row.
Yeah, that's it. There we go. That will be here, I think.
A new one.
New one will go here.
Now the second row. This is
there.
This row. Oh yeah.
Closer and closer.
And this one.
Okay, cool.
And just would be
compass goes there. There we go. All right.
So that is it. I have just told a third story, which means I took the final Sultan token, and that is one of the conditions to set off the end of the game. So the only other way you can set off the end of the game is if one player tells all 4 of their story tiles, and hence have no other stories they can tell.
They are story told out.
As I am a first player, you guys got to play 1 more time each, and now we are at the end of the game. We're on to final scoring.
Which is a pity.
Which is a pity.
Which is a big thing. I couldn't reach, you know, the market for my dozens.
Oh no!
But I keep my jewels with me, you know.
So the first thing that we count is storytelling points. So I am in the lead.
Yeah, because the Sultan has been really generous on your last story.
He's a trilogies man.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's always the third one's always
Generous,
the best.
you know,
Plus-
maybe too generous.
Too generous.
Plus you 2, you know,
Yeah.
2
2
points
extra
more, you
points.
know.
Yeah, because you get 1 extra point per story you've previously told. So that boosted me up a bit. So I'm at 12. So as the first position on the storytelling board, I get 23 extra
Which
points.
with 77,
Okay.
so it brings you
Yeah.
more than there.
Okay.
Jimmy's the second.
Yep.
I'm in second. That gets me 16 points. Whoopla. So that's 39,
45.
45. There we go.
And the last one,
10.
so it's 51.
Ta-da. Okay.
Isn't bad either. So next up, we take a look at what we have left in our respective caravans. So you get 1 point per symbol that you have in the bottom part of your caravan. The enemies don't count because they'll be taken into account.
I found your donkey. You know, I have a dumble
How
donkey.
is he?
You know.
Is he still
he's tired? You know.
I bet he is.
And I think he just missed, you know, or something, you know. I find mine, and a good friend.
He's settled down. He's retired from monster slaying and sprint
I
endurance
lost
running.
so many points with my Damians. I lose 15 points, you know. Whatsoever. It's a shame. I couldn't reach it, you know.
You got story sniped.
You ran out of
No. I'd rather, it's maybe a mistake, but I'd rather tell a story and didn't go to the market. Okay, that's what I got. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 symbols, which is 6 small points, which was 57.
Okay, I get 2. So I,
I
have
get 2.
2.
And I have 3 tiles, but one of them has a double symbol, so 4.
49. And then the last one are
Enemies.
Enemies. And
So
none.
you
And we get, no, I'm a merchant.
You're a peaceful
and
trader.
with jewels and crowns and diamonds.
Yeah.
I'm also a merchant, a steel merchant.
Still merchant. Or skinned merchant, you know.
So I have 2 different enemies. That gets me 4 points.
So you are
So
here.
3.
Oh, 3 points,
Three
sorry.
3 points.
Yeah.
3 points, so 9, and on to, I've lost my, that is a 9, yes.
Yes.
Lost my skills in maths there. So I have significantly more. So I have 2 collections here. I have a
Okay.
collection of 4 different monsters, which
Okay.
gets me 10 points. So I got to 9. And then I have a collection of 2 of the same monsters. Those last 13 or so thieves got away from me. And that gets me 4 points.
Oh! You
1, 2,
just
3,
beat me. Ah.
That's
Well,
tricky, you know.
Yeah. Well, epic monster slaying in the end. You know, that
No, but-
wasn't...
I would have sold my jewels, you know, my diamonds, you know.
Didn't get the time.
I would have done, you know, 15 points, you know.
I screamed in there and told the story. And it
My
wasn't-
jewels!
He's been carrying
Where
them.
is the jade, you know,
Game.
pusher? Give me my market.
So there you have it. Victory was yanked out from under my nose once more from an epic monster slayer, but that's okay. I don't feel bad about it.
And if you would have been tied,
Yes.
maybe, this is the one with most storytelling point. Which
Okay. So in case of a tie, play with the most storytelling
Yeah.
points. So one point. I would have. I should have taken just a little bit more time to get some gold.
the
But
goal. The
that's
problem is always the goal.
so there you have it. As you witnessed in this video, you can really get creative with your storytelling depending on what you have on your tiles. You can take it all very seriously and try and make something a bit epic. You can be silly. You can be downright ridiculous. It's absolutely up to you. That's all part of the fun.
That is part of the fun. It's your tale, you tell it.
Definitely. So, you're free to keep things simple or take it as far as you really want to take it. It really is your choice. That was fun.
It was fun. I very
laughed a
much
lot.
enjoyed
My
that.
face hurts now.
Yeah.
I will
So-
forever remember that.
the running donkey. So that was it. That was Tiles of the Arabian Nights, which is a 2 to 5 player game by Olivier Melison and Matthieu Podevin, and gorgeously illustrated by Amber Scharf and Joëlle Drans. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that as much as we did playing it. And we will be back soon with more videos. Thanks, everyone.